Right, well, good morning everyone. Phil from DR Property Guys.
Ty from DR Property Guys.
Welcome to a beautiful day. A little bit of rain this morning, but that's good. What we thought we would do is have a conversation between ourselves to look at the process of buying a property here in the Dominican Republic. Now, we've lived here a while, haven't we?
21 years myself.
Yeah, and 28 years, something like that, a long time here in the Caribbean. So we have a bunch of knowledge and obviously a lot of experience, particularly Ty in the real estate business. So we're going to go from the start to the end of the process of buying a property here in Dominican Republic. What we also want to do down the line is to do a webinar where people can actually join and we can have a live conversation. So any questions you might have, we'll be able to cover them. And hopefully we're going to invite some people into the webinar that have lived here for a number of years, that have done the research and that have bought their own property too. So
yeah, sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
And you're happy today because your football team just won 7-0.
Yeah, but I couldn't see half the goals because I've been busy with setting this up and whatnot.
All
but
right.
Yes, we won 7-0.
Anyway, it's a good start to the day.
It is.
For him, anyway. So I'm just going to imagine, Ty, that I'm either in Europe or Canada or the States, and I'm just ready for a change, you know. And this has been a year of change where it's been a difficult year, but I think you pointed out it's also been a year where we've learned a lot.
You got to take the positives from every experience. So,
and the positives from this year are the fact that people can now work remotely. You don't have to be in an office. I think people have learned that life's too short.
Yeah, and some people are learning it too late in the game.
Yeah, yeah. So things have changed, and they don't have to change for the worse. They can change for the better. And you know, and these are the words that we're hearing on the street now, that more and more people, because of those points, are thinking to relocate and come down here to the Caribbean. And obviously that's where we fit in. So if I'm thinking of coming to Dominican Republic to either retire or relocate or work remotely, what's your best advice, Ty, to begin with? You know, obviously I've got to do some research.
Research is fine. There's a lot of information on the internet, but again, don't believe everything you read on the internet, right?
Fake news.
Fake news. You get that a lot. I mean, you get a lot of keyboard warriors on online forums and stuff like that. But, you know, I've been living here since the age of 15. I'm fluent in Spanish. I've been a legal resident here since the age of 18. I mean, you can do all the research you want, and with all due respect, you can spend 2-3 years doing research on real estate in the Dominican Republic, or not in the Dominican Republic, but at least on the North Coast. And you're not gonna have the knowledge that I do. I'm not trying to boast or anything like that, you know. Most people, you know, the information available for them is in English anyway. This is not an English-speaking country. People speak English, but it's a Spanish-speaking country. So, you know, I just find from that perspective alone, you're at a disadvantage if you're trying to find out stuff on the internet. It's all in English because you don't speak Spanish anyway, right? So, use people, and I don't suggest you have to use us as the agent, but, you know, you find an agent that has local knowledge, that has experience of living here. You know, not only have I been involved in over 450 real estate transactions during my career here so far, but I've also purchased several properties myself and sold properties myself. And, you know, small example, we're in contact with a lady right now. She's been doing research, and she sent us a link on somebody else's website for a house that she's interested in. Now, the area that that house is located in, I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole. I'm very sorry for all the people that have bought property there. I'm not going to mention the community, but I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole. And that's what research gets you. You look at some stuff on the internet that's got some nice pictures on it, but you don't know that the neighborhood where it is not a good idea. So go ahead, do your research, But you know, that's a perfect example. That lady.
But it's also, you know, I think it's also important that that you either listen to or are in contact with or speak to people that have already been through the process. And this is something that we want to bring to you through DR Property Guys, is the opportunity to listen to people that have bought property and live here. And also to be able to interact with them. So, you know, we mentioned the webinar, and it's something that we really would like to do. So watch out for that. And
I'll just add briefly, again, part of our ethos as a company is that we wouldn't show or sell you a property that either of us wouldn't live in. So, you know, there are certain areas, Phil and myself living here for, you know, combined almost 50 years, wouldn't be comfortable living in. We're not going to show that to you. So that cuts out a lot of the garbage, if you will.
Yeah. So that leads me on to a question, which is, what should you look for in a good real estate agent? What should you be looking for?
I think local knowledge and experience. You know, certainly. I don't care who you are, you need to speak Spanish, because if you're not understanding the legalities of the situation, you're putting your client through an experience that you can't manage. So fluency in Spanish is imperative. We talked about that before. Let's not beat a dead horse. So local knowledge, knowledge of the language, obviously experience. I mean, would you be comfortable buying a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 property from somebody it's their first real estate transaction?
No, I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't either. So, you know, that coupled with, you know, just, you can get a feel for your agent. You know, we've heard stories of agents dropping customers off to people's houses and not even getting out the car. Remember, I think we even spoke about that on a previous episode. Yeah. You know, if the agent isn't willing to walk into the home and is essentially told the homeowner, you deal with it. I mean, you know, how does that work? That's not. So, and you know, if you go with your agent in the supermarket, you'll see, you know, the local people saying hello, and you know, you want to gain a rapport and trust with the people that you decide to invest with. I mean, my very first clients in 2003, Ennie and Marie, shout out to you guys. I have their kids' photo on my keychain. We become the, you know, very like family. When I'm in the UK, I stay with them. When they come to Dominican Republic, they sold their house a couple of years ago. They come and stay with us. And it was the very first clients we had back in 2003. And we've maintained, you know, 17, almost 18-year relationship with those people. And I think that's what happens. I can count on this hand the number of people that I haven't really maintained a relationship with. I mean, you're not going to get that with everyone, but you know, look for someone that
you connect with.
You're going to connect with, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's really when we talked about DR Property Guys and launching a new company. It's something we very much wanted to do. It's not just about selling a home, but what we want to do is show you the way of life. We want to see and get you connected here, and we want to open up a whole new world of possibilities for you. I mean, we both enjoy living here. Even after 28 years, I'm here. I love the place still.
Just to sidetrack on that, would you say right now, obviously not including COVID, I think right now is probably some of the best time to be in the Dominican Republic?
I'd have to agree. You know, it's just a different pace of life, a different way of living, and the sense of freedom. All right, there are restrictions here with COVID, but there just seems to be a different sense of liberty here, and I think that's really important, obviously, in this day and age.
But not only that, I mean, like in terms of internet speed, that's really good right now.
Yeah.
The cable TV service we have here, they got high definition packages, all kinds of TV you want to watch. The supermarket, the quality of the supermarkets right now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's very little lacking. So in, you know, and the restaurants, the bars right now, real good quality. The roads are improving. The beaches are in real good condition. You know, so I think right now is some of the best times to be living in Dominican Republic.
Yeah. I mean, huge since 1993. absolutely huge changes here, and you know, all of those points that Ty raises really make a huge difference to the quality and standard of living here. You know, I mean, supermarkets, for example, they're as good as supermarkets back at home. They really are. You can get whatever you want.
Yeah.
So you can't get sage, can you?
Well, we didn't get sage yesterday, but we were never without toilet paper, which is important.
We were without that.
I got phone calls from people in New York telling me they're living in $1 million plus apartments or homes or whatever. They couldn't get hold of toilet paper. We didn't have that issue here.
No.
So,
always good.
But let's get on to the buying process, because we don't want to make this too long a video.
No, exactly. So let's say, for example, my budget is $200,000, and I'm coming down here. I've already, I know the home I want to buy. I know where it is. You know, I've done my research. I want to check it out. What are the processes for me to get things going, for me to get the ball rolling?
So typically what we'll do, obviously, we'll show you the properties that you're interested in, and let's say you decided to pick house A, for example. So the first step, once you've agreed that that's the property you want to move forward with, would be to write up a written offer with some good faith deposit, just to make the seller see that it's a serious offer. So we'd write out the terms and conditions within the offer sheet. We'd have the seller either accept or reject. In case of rejection, your good faith deposit would of course be returned to you. But in case of acceptance, we would then move on to the second phase, which would be to draw up a contract of a promise of sale contract, or in Spanish, una promesa de venta, which essentially is a notarized contract that stipulates the conditions of the property and the conditions of payment, sale, etc. With the signing of the promise of sales contract, typically 10% of the amount is paid down. So let's say you agree on a price of $200,000, you're going to complete your 10% payment. That money most of the time stays in the hands of the buyer's lawyer in escrow until closing. Closing date, which will be stipulated in the contract, is typically 30 to 45 days after the signing of the promise of sale. The reason for that, obviously, the lawyer has to do his due diligence. They have to go to the title registry office and solicit a certificate of no incumbencies. That normally takes 15 days, but 30 to 40 days would be a regular closing period. So once all the due diligence is done by the lawyer, everything is fine, then the final contract of sale will be signed on the agreed date. At that point, you pay the full balance, unless there's an owner finance deal involved, in which case it could be slightly different, but you pay up the balance and you will get possession of the home. At that same time, the seller will deliver the original title deed to your lawyer, and then your lawyer has to begin the process of transferring the title from the seller's name into your name. We'll talk briefly about the transfer process. There is a transfer tax to be paid, and I'm not talking about projects that are covered by the touristic incentive license, where they don't, but there are very few of them around here. So you will pay 3% to transfer the title from the seller's name into your name, 3% of the appraised value. Now, I remember, or typically, appraised values are around 50% of the real paid value. Now, who does the appraisal is the tax office. I actually had a quick look this morning at some properties, and their current appraised values or recorded values are actually under 50% of what real paid values should be. I mean, they're quite ridiculous. You couldn't even build some of these places for the prices that the tax office have on them right now. So anyway, you will pay to the lawyer the 3%, who will pay it to the tax office on your behalf. And then normally anywhere between a month, 3 months time, the new title will be emitted in your name. But in essence, on completion of the contract of sale, you are the owner of the property from there on. Let's mention quickly closing costs from the lawyer. So the lawyer's fee in Dominican Republic is typically 1% plus sales tax, so 1% of the paid value plus 18% of their fee. There is a minimum fee. So let's say you're buying a property, let's say you're buying a piece of land for $40,000. instead of paying $400 to the lawyer, they would most likely charge you a minimum of $700 upwards. That's typically what people do. So yeah, you've got your 3% of the appraised value to the tax office, your 1% of the actual paid value to the lawyer. Quickly, let's talk about annual property taxes. If your property is appraised at 7 million pesos or under, which is roughly $120,000 in today's money, you don't pay any yearly property tax. As we mentioned earlier, appraised values are roughly 50% of the real paid value. So in essence, any property under $240,000, $250,000 in today's money isn't going to pay any yearly tax unless the property was declared for a higher value for other reasons, but we won't get into that now. What I'm trying to say is essentially anything up until around $200,000 doesn't pay any yearly property tax. Now that's good on your first property. If you buy 2 properties, you now have a cumulative value and you'll start paying tax. These are things that we can get involved, or we can talk about through email or through the phone, but we just want to give you a rough idea. So anything over 7 million pesos pays 1% property tax in 2 0.5% payments yearly, one in March, one in September. So let's say your property is appraised at 8 million pesos. The difference between 7 and 8 is 1 million pesos. You pay 1% of that yearly, which is 10,000 pesos. 2 payments, 5,000 in March, 5,000 in September. 10,000 pesos in today's money is $180. About $180.
Yeah, more or less.
$180.
Yeah.
So $90 in March, $90 in September. If you purchase through a corporation, that's a whole nother story. Corporations do not pay property tax. They pay tax on their asset, on their capital rather, but that's another story altogether. But that's basically the process in a nutshell. Find the property, make an offer, offer accepted, promise of sale contract, closing 30 to 45 days later, title transferred into your name. That's it.
Right, now I've got a question. So obviously when you're looking at a property, you want to make sure that it's good, it's solid, it has no faults. What's the best process for that, Ty?
There are engineers that you can employ to do a property inspection, but I think a lot of the time, and this is why, you know, we like certain resale properties, because you sort of, it is what it is, and you get what you see. But of course, you are at your liberty to hire a construction professional to do a walkthrough for you and check all those aspects.
And what kind of, in your experience, what are the kind of things that can go wrong?
We've seen people walk away from deposits, like they've put down a deposit and either their life has changed. Sorry, there's a mosquito.
Right, cheers, mate.
People have walked away from deposits, you know, their life changed. Maybe they got divorced 15 days after signing the contract or whatever, you know, but it's very rare. I mean, 1% perhaps. What else can go wrong? I mean, you just gotta, this is where it's important to have a reputable agent representing you, because if you go with somebody that, you know, has no scruples, they can make you sign something or entice you to sign something that perhaps you don't understand or isn't what you'd agreed upon.
It's not in your best interest.
It's not in your best interest. So, but generally, I mean, not too many things do go wrong, you know. Title insurance in this country is offered by the Dominican government. They are who guarantees your property rights. So, and it's very rare to hear of stories with funny titles these days and stuff like that. So,
but you know, obviously the key is to get yourself with a reliable agent, one that you trust, and one that's going to steer you in the right direction. I mean, that's 99% of it, isn't it?
I'd say so. I'd say so. I mean, and again, it goes back to what we said earlier. We wouldn't sell you a property that either of us weren't comfortable living in.
No way. No way.
So,
we want happy people.
Yeah.
Delighted people. Just quickly, the whole process from start to finish, how long would that normally take? You know, from me saying I want that property to me getting the keys and being able to move in.
Well, if today were a Monday and you wanted to buy the property next door to me, we could have you owning it outright, you know, within 30 days, as long as the funds were there, and as long as whoever's your legal representation provides the necessary certificate of no incumbencies. So that's why we say 30 days. That could be the shortest time in essence, 30 to 45 days.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And we're hearing at the moment, you know, because obviously it's our job to do groundwork and to talk to different people in different places around the world as well as on the ground here, and it looks as though the Dominican property market is going to get a little bit busy. We're hoping so, because we want to get some good people down here. I would say in terms of buying right now, good time.
Probably one of the best times. I mean, we can't go back 15 years when prices were a little different, but other than that, yes, great time to buy. And not so much just because of the pricing, but more so because of the infrastructure and what you're actually getting for your money, I'd say. Yeah, I mean, obviously as viewers you're going to say, well, of course they're going to say now's the best time to buy, but truth be told, with the infrastructure that we have here now, and given it's still the cheapest in the Caribbean, but it can't last forever that. I mean, this island has so much to offer that soon this country will not be the cheapest place in the Caribbean. It shouldn't be.
No.
It really shouldn't.
No, when you attach the lifestyle, you know, and just the way things are here, the people, everything about the Dominican Republic, it really is a good way to live life.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's it. Have we got anything else to add on the process? We didn't want to go on for too long, did we?
Well, we'll talk briefly about financing, because we do get a lot of questions about that. And the fact of the matter is, unless you have Dominican residency, it's going to be very hard for you to obtain finance for real estate here. We know that the Scotiabank offers a program for US, UK and Canadian citizens at a somewhat competitive interest rate. However, it's a long and drawn out process. We went through it with several clients, and our recommendation is to sort out your finances in your home country, and whether that be refinancing or selling property you own there and buying cash here. There are some owners willing to do owner finance options. Typically you'd be looking at a minimum of 30 to 50% down and a balance paid off over a 3 to 5 year period. Most of the owners we know are looking anywhere between, we have someone offering a 3% mortgage, but typically is 5 to 8%. But unfortunately the bank isn't going to lend you unless you have Dominican residency, and on top of that a banking history here in the Dominican Republic. So it is 99% cash. There is a little bit of owner financing, and for existing residents there's the bank option. So that's the financing side of things. What else? I think that's pretty much it for this video. Well,
as I mentioned, look out for the webinar. We want to get as many people together as we can and answer questions openly. Any questions you might have, we'll make sure we're able to answer them and put your mind to rest. And that's it. You know, we just want to help you as much as we can and make the whole process seem as seamless as possible. We want to find you the right place. We want to open the doors for you here, and we want to create for you an amazing life. And that's basically what we do, I think, isn't it?
That's it. We're here to help. So if you've got any questions, send us an email, or
contact
WhatsApp,
us
whatever,
on drpropertyguys.com.
Yeah, we look forward to hearing from you.
Take care. Have a good day.
See ya.
Bye.